We are Rogue Media Sports.
Today on Beyond the Game, I talked with Matt Jones about his college career, his dirt bike addiction, and his future after college in the NFL. Hi, welcome to Beyond the Game. I'm your host, Aubrey. In this show, we deep dive into the lives of athletes both on and off the field. Each episode, we bring you inspiring stories, triumphs, and challenges from the most dedicated and talented athletes. Whether you're a sports enthusiast or just love a good story, this show's for you. So today, I have the pleasure of interviewing with, close friend and Baylor football player, Matt Jones. How do you feel?
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I'm so happy to be here. Both Permian, grew up going to Permian, Mojo, big Mojo people. So I had some questions about, being a Permian Panther and playing football. I was a cheerleader, so I saw it from the different point of view.
Sure.
So, kind of tell me about how it is to be, say that you came from Permian, Friday Night Lights, and now you are a college athlete. So how does that feel?
Yeah, it's honestly a blessing in disguise. Every time you mention where you're from, Permian, people like to go crazy or they just hype it up or their head, kind of make your head too big with it.
Absolutely.
But no, it was, like I said, it was a great blessing, coming from a powerhouse program.
Right.
Permian, big powerhouse team, big structured, strict football program. So coming from there, I think it helped me develop into the athlete that I am now here at Baylor.
Absolutely.
In a lot of certain terms.
Right, for sure. Yeah, it's funny, being on two different sides of it, football, cheer, it's completely different dynamic all the way around. The culture's there, but it's just so different, the run-through signs, all the things, which now I don't know if they have a blow-up for halftime,
I did not
which
know
is
that.
crazy because we tried so hard to get that gone because we were so tired of painting those dang signs. Okay, so first things first, coming up to the first game this week, opening game against Tarleton State, how are you feeling from coming off a pretty rough season last season, pretty tough, lots of young players. How are we feeling this year for Saturday?
Way confident.
Good.
Way better than last year. I know we have a lot more people who are all bought in, who want to be out there and want to play. I know we have a lot of people who are on the hot seat, not just within coaches, but within players. A lot of us, it's our last shot, our last chance to get out there and prove who we are and what we could do. And I think the team, I'm pretty confident that the team, we're going to come out first game and we're going to give the fans what they're hoping to see.
Absolutely. I've been hearing all the hype from everyone, so I'm excited. I think everyone's excited to see what Baylor football can go out there and do this year.
It's going to be a great year.
You have so much talent and there's so much there. Just got to go out there and do it.
We do. We will.
So, I had some questions about pre-game rituals and like superstition. So is there anything you do before a game that's like every single time you do it and you can't do it without it? It's your like superstition, socks inside out, anything?
I probably tape myself. A lot of people go to the trainers and trainers want us to get taped, but I just do it myself.
Okay, cool.
Put my pads on, put my tape on, do it myself.
Interesting. That's awesome. That's awesome. Everyone has something. So I always ask, I'm like, what is your thing that you do that gets you ready for the game? Right, absolutely. Okay, that's cool. I haven't heard that before. Kind of just tell me about being a college athlete in general, the life of being a college athlete.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a blessing. I'll come back to that, but it's also very stressful. You have to manage school.
It's a job.
Yeah, it's a
full-time job
plus school. And
absolutely.
Luckily, me being a senior, I don't really have to do any classes. So right now it's just all ball, straight
ball. I was
going
to ask you, are you in grad school?
Yeah.
Okay, you are in grad school.
All 3 online classes, and
That's nice that they give you online, so you don't have to
beautiful.
deal with that as well.
Go in there, do ball all day, watch film, do extra treatment, and do everything that I need to do without having to worry about school. But at the same time, being a student athlete, it brings a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. A lot of people rely on you and put a lot of pressure on you. For sure. Not knowing what we do behind the scenes, but at the same time, that's our job. We're used to it.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you. What, obviously there's a stamina built up, for college athlete. People don't really see. That's why I do this podcast. I'm doing this podcast interviewing athletes' lives on and off the field. People don't know what goes on behind the scenes. they just see a college athlete, a player who goes out there and plays football.
Saturdays.
So what is it like, the standard you have to hold yourself to being a college athlete, you know?
Oh, yeah, you just got to really lock in, you know. There's going to be a lot of outside noise, a lot of media, a lot of fans wanting you to do this, do that. A lot of them don't know what
Absolutely.
it takes and the work it takes. So just, I would say, ignoring all the outside noise, putting
Right.
it to the side, not really taking it and leaving it, but I like to take it and use it as fuel, put a chip on my shoulder and use it to better
definitely
myself.
go harder,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
I always get on, Twitter, social media after tough games, and man, you've got some bandwagon fans.
Yeah, we
It's
do.
tough.
It
It's
is.
really, really tough, and I see that. I've gotten on and blocked so many people. I don't want to see it,
Yeah.
I'm with y'all until forever. It's not, you're good, you're bad, you're a fan until you die. I'll forever be a Baylor fan. And so I just always think about that. I'm like, man, the fans, it's got to be rough hearing the outside voices and being able to just tune that out and not hear it.
No,
So
it is. It
that's
is, for sure.
yeah, big thing. What has been your hardest challenge in life, in college, just everything? What's a hard challenge you've had to overcome and you've just come back better from? Can be anything.
Yeah, no, that's a loaded question.
That is a loaded question.
Yeah, no, I would probably say within football, probably my first foot surgery, my stress fracture.
I was going to ask you about injuries.
Yeah, that was my first ever career injury. Just junior high, pee-wee, high school. Never had an injury.
And what year was that in college?
After the Big 12 championship
Okay,
game, so
okay.
2021. Actually, it got stepped on second play of the game. Felt
Okay.
it crack, but just
Kept
didn't let it
playing
get to
through?
me. Played through it. After that game, it was feeling pretty good, feeling better. Never really did anything, and then it ended up turning into a stress fracture. And that was the first time in really my whole football career, not just collegiate career, but
Absolutely.
football
just in
career,
general.
that I missed a practice, that I missed a workout, that I missed
I know
a
that's
game.
tough for you because
So it was,
you're
it was
all
hard.
in,
I
so-
never really knew what to do. Just it was like a whole new process to me. I felt like I just
Absolutely.
was on the outside and
a little
everything.
step back,
Yeah.
kind of little
Yeah, for
bump
sure.
in the road,
So that,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So that probably was one of my biggest challenges, is just coming back from that, and really it helped me learn a lot, and patience, and just what to do.
Absolutely.
When adversity hits.
For sure. Adversity, that's, big thing being an athlete. It's
Yeah, it
hard
is.
coming back from it. You can either let it eat you up or you just
For
get better
sure,
from
yeah.
it. So what does it feel like to be a Big 12 championship? You've been to two, right? Big
Yeah,
12
two,
championships, two
two.
Sugar Bowls.
Two- yep.
First time wasn't so hot, but
Mm-mm.
when y'all won, what is that feeling like to be able to say, I've won a Sugar Bowl and I've won a Big 12 championship? That is
yeah.
an amazing
It's-
accomplishment.
It's one of the best experiences. I told the defense today, when after practice, called them up and we just talked for a little. I told them there's only two people on this team who have played in a Big 12 championship, which is me and Garmin Randolph.
Is that all that's
Yeah,
left
there's
that
only
has
two of us
played in that?
left,
That
yeah.
is just
So
insane to me.
I kind of put it in their head, like, I want y'all to feel the experience and get the experience of winning, and just that joy and
excitement.
the atmosphere, the whole
The hype,
everything. It's
everything,
just,
the culture, it's just
yeah,
it's
like I
something
told
else.
them, it's one of the best experiences in my whole career was winning
Absolutely.
that championship. So just it was amazing.
Which one would you say was both amazing accomplishments? Which one hit home the hardest? The big win. Which one fell?
2021.
2021.
You talking about the Big 12 game?
Big
or the
12
Sugar
or
Bowl?
Sugar Bowl?
Big 12 for
Big
sure.
12.
Just because it was a championship.
Absolutely, yeah.
conference
Within your
game.
conference,
And just that game, just we had 11,
Absolutely.
11 goal line stops.
For sure.
The goal line stop to end it, it was just.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, kind of going off topic from that, how do you feel about OU and Texas leaving the Big 12?
I don't really mind,
Mind
because
it?
I go out there and play whoever's in front of me.
Regardless, absolutely.
But
What's your take on it?
I would say I kind of wish they were in here, just because they're big powerhouses, the
Absolutely,
powerhouses
yeah.
of Big 12.
Something
So I
to
love
compete
going
with,
to
for
play,
sure.
and then just being able to play them and beat them in the end.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
How about these new teams? You've got both Arizona
yeah.
schools. You've got, BYU, which you played
lot
last
more,
year,
yeah.
Utah.
Yeah.
How are we feeling about those games that we haven't played before?
Good.
Because you've been in it for the last
yeah.
5. This is
Yeah.
5th year, 6th year. I'm trying to remember.
6th year, yeah.
6th year,
Yeah.
because you had your COVID eligibility
Yep.
year. So what does it feel like to play all these same teams for the last 4 or 5 years, and then all of a sudden your last year you're coming up against these new
it's
new
fun.
teams,
It's
sure.
fun. It's cool.
Scenery
a little change. I like
Absolutely.
the away games we go to, like Colorado.
That's
That'll be fun.
Absolutely.
Utah.
So much
we've been to
fun.
BYU, but getting to go to I believe they're in Salt Lake or somewhere around
Yeah,
that area.
for
Getting to
sure.
go there will be fun. So
Definitely.
just having new teams, new places to go see, and just new teams.
Scenery change.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't
Yeah.
love some scenery
Love
change?
welcoming those teams too by beating
Absolutely.
them.
So much fun. It's going to be a great
Yeah, it
season.
is.
Tell me a little bit about single digits, because, big deal to be able to wear a single digit as a Baylor football player. I feel like very traditional.
Mhm.
I know a few people have gotten to get a single digit this season. So what is it like to be able to represent a single digit and be able to go out there and just wear number 2? That's an awesome number.
No,
favorite
it's-
number
yeah,
over here.
favorite
So
too. Let's go. No, it's a cool opportunity. A lot of people, you can't see it as, I got the single digit, I'm the big dog, I can lay back and chill. Now you gotta see it
keep
as, I got
pushing.
the single digit, I need to step it up, I need to do more, I need to put more
Absolutely.
time in, more work in. But it's a great opportunity. I know a lot of people fight for that number, and
For
it's not just
sure.
numbers that are given to you. So having those single digits, it really sets a meaning on who, I guess, the hardest working people on the
Absolutely.
team are, and the main leaders. So just getting that number, you just got to really live up to
Yeah,
it.
big
live up to that.
accomplishment. So each year, which this will be your 2nd year, correct?
Yes.
Having number 2, you have. Is it, or is this the
Oh
3rd
my
year?
gosh, I have no idea. Third year.
Okay,
third
year
This
having
year, third
number
year.
2. Sorry, my facts are off.
No, I don't even know it.
I just, do you have to earn that again back each year? Or when you get a single digit, are you kind of stuck with that? Like, are you set for that? You got to keep earning your place?
Yeah, I would say you're already a single digit. You've already earned
Your spot,
that
right?
spot. But as the new season comes, I feel like just because you have that number doesn't mean it's set in stone.
set in
You
stone,
still got to go out there and work as
Same
if you
work
want
ethic,
it.
all
Everything
that.
you did before to get that number. You just got
Absolutely.
to honestly step it up and do more.
Being a 6th year, I have a question. Being a 6th year, just having so much experience, do you see yourself as a role model to the upcoming, the freshmen, sophomores, juniors? Would you consider yourself a role model?
For sure. I see myself in those shoes, especially coming from being in their shoes at one point
Absolutely.
and looking up to Terrell, Petey,
Definitely.
Abram,
Some
all those guys.
amazing players.
Yeah, all those guys, it really showed me what it takes and what to do. So now being the guy who's really in their shoes,
Absolutely.
I see it. And there was a point I didn't see it, but my coach came up to me and was like, hey, no matter what you say, you could say anything. You go run through a wall, these guys will listen to you just because you're a leader and who
Absolutely.
you are on this team. So that really put it into perspective and put it in my mind like, hey, I am a role model. Hey, these younger
jump,
cats
how
do
high,
look up to
right.
me, and I just need to set an example.
It's awesome. I love that. That's so cool. 6 years of experience in college football. You've got it. You've got it on lock. I mean, Waco. You've been here for 6 years.
Yep.
Waco fan, loving it, not loving it.
No, I love it.
You learn to love it, and that's what I've learned.
I just love things. I don't really try to bring the negative to it.
Absolutely.
I love it. Especially where we both come
I was
from,
just about to
where
say,
we both
coming
come
from Odessa, it's a little step up.
It
It's
is.
similar. I feel like that's why
very
it's
similar. Population's the same. I
homey.
just feel like it's more spread out here. I also feel like it's just more laid back here.
Absolutely.
Just more laid back, more of a hill country area.
Definitely.
And, it's not overly crowded. The people here, every time I run into people, whether they know me or not, they're nice.
People
they're
are
cool.
kind, yeah.
But I like Waco.
Waco
it's
family,
a cool little spot.
little
It's a cool
family
little spot. Yeah.
community.
Family area. That's how I describe it. Family area.
And that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
And that's so funny. People ask me, do you like Waco? Why are you still living in Waco, being graduated? Like, what is in Waco? And I'm like, honestly, you learn to love it,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
not. It
It's
was
not bad
just
at all.
a home away from home from Odessa.
It is. This is second home.
So speaking on Odessa, let's get into, more mojo.
Yeah, mojo.
Oh my gosh, mojo. There is no feeling like that. That
At
is
all.
just so cool.
At all.
It's funny to see people are actually wearing Permian jerseys these days,
I
like
see it all
to
the
dress
time.
with style.
I see it all the
And it
time.
makes me laugh because I'm like, This is just crazy.
Yeah.
We've been living in a different world and we had no idea. It took me until I got to college to realize, whoa, like Friday Night Lights is a big deal.
Yeah,
Big
time,
deal.
legit.
I was asked yesterday, is it like from the movie, what you see in the movie, is it the same from what you get? And I'd say pretty much to a T, you get what you see.
Yeah.
And so it's such a cool experience.
Yeah,
Ratliff, all of
sure.
it. It's just, there's nothing like it. How has Baylor treated you as a whole?
It's been great, you know.
How about the Christian atmosphere of it all?
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely planted that into
sure.
our hearts and
Faith,
minds, you know,
yeah.
just you got to come here, you got to take your Christian classes, your religion classes, and then I know every Sunday as a football team we do chapel together.
Okay.
We bring in preachers or we bring in our team chaplain to come in and talk to us and just give a little bit of time to God and worship him and just give thanks to everything he's done for us. So
that's really neat.
It's been a great time, and I would say ever since I got here, my faith has definitely grown.
I was gonna ask, do you feel like you have grown in your faith? Do you feel like that helps you as a player on and off the field?
100%.
Absolutely. That's so awesome.
100%.
I love that. What is a fun little fact about you? I know, I'm putting you on the spot because I was being put on the spot yesterday and I couldn't answer these questions.
I know. People have asked me this sometimes, and like I've even thought to myself, like I need to just figure a fun fact
about you.
I don't know, like fun fact. I just love riding dirt bikes.
That's so funny. I never knew that about you.
Bought a dirt bike in the summer just to ride it.
Did you really? So you have a dirt bike?
Got rid of it. I bought it just for the summer, and bought it just for the summer to ride around and just, you know, when I'm bored, it's just a hobby I like.
That's so funny. I never knew that about you.
Yeah.
I know a lot. I didn't know that one. That's really funny.
Yeah.
I think the fun fact about you that I liked is your little Sic'Em tattoo in between your fingers. Tell me a little bit about your tattoos. You know, you've got a full sleeve, pretty much legs completely done.
First off, this was probably the most painful one.
On your finger, really?
Straight bone.
If you can't see, the tattoo on his finger is Sic'Em Bears.
Sic'Em Bears. Zoomed in.
Die-hard fan right there.
I love it. Got this when I committed. But not to my other tattoos. Yeah, I would say 98% have a meaning.
Absolutely.
You know, I have a lot of crosses, a lot of scriptures for my faith. You know, I got like a tiger, and then back that has a meaning for vengeance and everything. And then back here, I got the unit, which my grandpa called me. You know, I got in Greek committed, and then just a lot of, you know, Christian scripture verses. And then, you know, down here I got the sailor bear.
I love that. I love that you have the sailor bear on your leg. That's awesome.
You know, I got the.
I didn't realize you had the Odessa well, the water well, water tower. That's real right there.
That's the neighborhood I grew up in with that tower, and then I got my street sign from a little town.
That's awesome.
Of like 200 people I grew up in. So yeah.
Everything's meaningful.
Everything's got a meaning. And then these are kind of hidden. So right here, it's on the dice. It's 532. It's my mom, brother, and little sister's birthday days.
That's so
and
neat.
This one you can't tell because it's kind of faded, but it's 432 in the dice.
Awesome. 432 area code.
Yep.
Always 432, repping it.
Yep.
So I want to ask you, you know, family, big part of your life, super big. You just got married, which is super exciting. How does it feel to be a married man?
It's great, you know.
Is it different?
It's in certain ways it's different. A lot of it's not, you know. We live together now. She cooks a lot more.
That's awesome.
I have like that other half of me that I didn't have before.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
It does help out in a lot of ways. You know, like I didn't have time to go pick up my contacts the other day.
And she got it for you.
If we weren't married, she wouldn't be able to get them.
Okay.
So, things
that's
like
awesome.
that just helps out a lot.
For sure.
Little things, but yeah, it's been phenomenal. It's been great. I love it. It's been a blessing.
That's awesome.
And
I love that for you. I'm so glad.
Thank you.
So, okay, as far as family goes, you know, you have a daughter, and I just ask you, you know, who do you do it for? What is, you know, that's big impact on your life. You know, just kind of tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, I think everything I do is for her. You
Absolutely.
know, I got her face right here and her hand right here. And then a lot of times in the weight room, or if I don't have my gloves on and things get hard or something, I just look down at the name and remember who I do it for. And it kind of gives me like a second breath of air.
Absolutely.
To just go finish what I got to do.
Realize,
But I do everything for her just so she don't have to, you know, I grew up as a child, just not a life every child deserves or needs. So just making sure I don't give her that life or that experience that I had to go through. I just want to give her everything.
Giving her the best you can. That's so awesome. I love that. You know, just being able to say that, who you do it for, it's really, really meaningful. That's a big part of it.
She definitely saved
Keeps
my
you
life.
going,
In
yeah.
high school.
Absolutely.
Headed down the wrong path,
I'll never forget.
Then I had her and changed my life, so I want to return the favor and change her life.
I love that. That is just so awesome. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Asked me yesterday, do you have any funny stories with Matt Jones? And I had to sit and think, oh man, where do I start with this?
Many.
Going on 8 years of friendship, maybe. I don't know, a long time of friendship. And I was thinking, what can I say that is just too funny? Not something you did, but we're at a graduation party, and do you remember me in my mom's convertible, and your truck is parked?
You don't even got to finish.
Your truck is parked, and I'm just like a little cool kid, just waiting there talking out the window with the top down, and I'm slowly creeping up, and I bump your car.
Yeah.
I just barely tap your car.
I remember that.
Everyone's just like, okay, you're dumb. And it was just so funny. I just think about all the times I don't really know if I could narrow it down to a funniest memory, but
I mean, there's many.
There's so many.
I love that one because, it was just one of those moments where I was just sitting there. We're sitting there. I'm waiting for everyone to get in so we could go. I think we were going to another graduation party or somewhere.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And I'm just sitting there. Everyone's talking. Everyone's rowdy. I'm just sitting there like waiting. And next thing you know, I'm just I look in my mirror, and I would have been so mad, but I looked in my mirror and I was like,
Aubrey.
That's Aubrey. That's normal. Like, I'm not surprised that happened. I'm surprised it wasn't worse than it was.
The amount of things I did in that freaking convertible.
We have some great, funny stories.
Oh, absolutely. We were menaces to society. That was a grand old time.
What's the word called? Slum dogs. Hood rats, slum dogs, Odessa. My coach always used to call me it all the time. So funny.
I'm thinking back to Gabe Hall naming us mugrats.
Mugrats.
That's what it is.
Mugrats.
And I'll never forget it. It's so funny. People are like, Odessa. I'm like, yeah, I know. And then I always think about back to Gabe,
mugrats.
Calling us mugrats. So funny. Just just giving us a name and calling it, because Odessa's a different world. Stepping in. I mean, what was the change like for you coming from, big public school, academics completely different? Baylor's very, very serious about academics. Like, how is the change in that sense? It's an adjustment, I feel like, for everyone.
Yeah, no, it's probably a huge adjustment. Just in general, going from high school to college, definitely a big difference. I probably didn't give all my effort into school in high school. You know me,
You're not the only one, just straight ball.
Yeah. But getting here, it was just one of those things where it was like, okay, you can't play around, you can't mess around, you got to actually do the work, you got to study, you got to
no getting around it, no shortcuts here.
You can't just get around. You got.
And I've learned that the hard way too, being at Baylor. I feel like everyone pretty much has. You've got to learn the hard way. There's no shortcuts to that. So that's really awesome. Yeah. Academics are completely different here.
It's different, but hey,
it's worth it. It's worth it. And that's the thing. Baylor degree, that's really big accomplishment, and you're about to have 2 degrees from Baylor, so it's really exciting. So always my question, know the answer, but what's the end game for college football? What's the next step? Clearly the league, NFL.
NFL, that's been my dream since maybe I was 4 years old when I first put the little flag around me to go play flag football. I knew I was destined for this. I was 4 out there playing with 6-year-olds, so I just
always been a big boy. Always been a big old guy.
I was destined for this, but just hopefully, pray to God and do what I'm supposed to do on my side to take that next step to go to the next level. And I'm really confident that I could do that, whether I go drafted, undrafted. I'm going to go there and just give it my shot and give it everything I got.
You've got it. You're one of the best athletes I know personally. So I believe in you.
That's
Everyone else believes in you. Odessa, some really want to see you win. Some real big haters, but I feel like for the most part, being from Odessa and being able to say you went to play D1 football, college, Baylor, huge deal, and then to be able to take it to the next step, big deal, super big accomplishment. You don't see that often in Odessa. You don't really make it out. And I mean, who else from Odessa, athlete-wise, has been able to make it out as far as you?
Yeah, I know Landon Peterson. He was
Okay,
at Tech,
Landon
but now
Peterson,
he's at North
absolutely.
Texas. And then the only other one I could think of is Harris Sewell, but he was
Okay. Is he still over at,
he's at
Clemson still?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's at Clemson. I don't know.
Awesome.
He's like 2 years below me.
Yeah,
maybe 3.
I think he's 3 years younger than me. I'm not
Okay,
sure,
yeah.
but
I know
yeah.
he's pretty young, but other than that,
Big
I mean,
accomplishment.
yeah,
Big
yeah.
accomplishment. That's, how Tech was a big pull for us because it's so close to our home.
Oh yeah.
What was just screamed Baylor to you versus Tech? Obviously, getting away from home and all the, noise you hear in Odessa, just kind of going to be different. But
I'd say coming here for a visit, I never had Baylor even in my mind to come here. Tech,
Absolutely.
Tech was a dream school.
Yeah.
I even told Tech that before things went south with them. But, I came here on a visit. And I just fell in love instantly. I came when the rural staff was here, and they were just straight up. They were genuine. They did not try to cut corners or play.
Absolutely.
They were real. They were some real coaches. So just
Definitely.
coming here and doing that really got my attention. And then I would also say Joey McGuire. I know he's over
Absolutely.
there at Tech. Absolutely.
Love Joey McGuire forever.
He recruited me, came to Odessa a couple times, and he was a big piece of heart to me as to why I came here.
Absolutely. I think it's so cool, the birthday party we had, and who was the other coach?
Coach Oakham.
Yes, that came down, and we got to meet all of them,
Coach
and
Oakham.
we just thought that was the coolest thing ever. Were you junior that year or senior?
That was my senior year.
I was a junior. I thought this was the coolest thing. It was a college party. We wore college shirts. I wore an OU shirt because I was convinced I was going to go to OU, which, what is wrong with me? Never would want to be in Oklahoma and never would want to be an OU fan. Absolutely not. But
things change.
Yeah, things change. Baylor, great place to be, I have a couple more questions for you. Who's your role model? Who do you look up to? NFL player, anything, like who do you look up to and I'm like, man, I want to be them and more?
My dad, honestly.
Your dad?
My dad. He he's probably not an athlete like me. But,
no, that's okay.
He's definitely, the genes come from his side and definitely from his mom's side. But look up to my dad just because the hard work he put
Absolutely.
in. I know there was times when I was growing up playing Pee Wee, he couldn't make our games on Saturday just because he was working on
Absolutely,
a Saturday.
trying to provide.
I know there was times I was home and he wouldn't get there till 11 midnight. And then he would wake up at 5, 6 and go back and do it all again. So I didn't even get to see him much just because I know he was working to provide for us.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if any adversity has hit anyone more than him. He's gone through a lot of adversity, and the only thing he's ever done was just take the next step and fight the adversity, fight through it instead of laying back and letting it beat him. He went and beat the adversity, and now he's very blessed. He's blessing our family, and he's in a good position with work and everything.
Absolutely.
So he kept his foot on that gas and never failed.
Yeah, being able to see that, especially from your parent, big deal. That's one of the people that mean the most to you. So to see it from that perspective, you see other people go through so much, but see your parents, your father, just to come back from that and, keep going. It makes you want to keep going. It really does.
It makes me want to give back to him.
Absolutely. Okay, so these are just going to be some dumb questions, but
Never.
Texas, tea or lemonade? Being from Texas, tea versus
I drink. You can ask my wife. I drink the Gold Peak.
I know
tea.
you're a sweet tea
I drink
guy.
that gallon in 3 days.
That is too funny. I know. I knew that question. You were gonna say sweet tea.
Day.
Okay, so lots of Mexican food where we're from. Super good. Love some Mexican food. So, Mexican food or
Mexican.
All the way? Okay, it's so funny.
Mexican's my top food.
that is the best.
Yeah, Mexican's number one on the list.
Awesome.
Yeah.
See, I feel like that's coming from Odessa. How could it not be your...
Yeah, the thing is, though, coming from Odessa, where all that Mexican food is,
it's
was hard to find
places here.
Hard.
It's still hard. I still feel like I haven't found
it's
anywhere that kind of...
I try to explain it to a lot of people,
and people
too.
don't understand. It's those hole-in-the-wall places that are just so good. Okay, best Mexican food restaurant from Odessa.
I'm going to say Jorge's or
Dos
Compadres.
Those are always top
on
the list.
There is a new one in Midland called La Mission.
Oh, have you been?
That. Oh my gosh,
is it so good?
It's phenomenal.
The amount of restaurants they've put out there is crazy. There's just so many.
Restaurants.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what time it is. Zach, can you?
You got about 28 minutes.
Okay, we can cut it here in a couple minutes. Yeah, we'll have a couple minutes.
perfect.
Sorry about that. Okay, I'm trying to think. Favorite color? These are just silly little questions.
Red.
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 Okay.
Red.
I wondered. I'm like, does your color transition to green, being in green all the time?
I do like green. I've come to like green more than I did before.
See,
but
coming to Baylor, I was not a fan of the green and gold, but it has grown on
Yeah,
me,
it
and
grows.
I wouldn't want to be in. I wouldn't want to
it's
have
your
any
home.
color.
It's
It's
your
home.
home.
It really is. And one thing I did want to bring up too, it's really amazing that NIL has come such a long way. Like, what is your take on that? Being able to, y'all work y'all's butts off for
Mm-hmm.
it. It's a full-time job. So what's your take on
Yeah.
NIL?
Me personally, I love it. Of course,
Absolutely.
all the football guys are gonna love it. I think there's a lot of pros and cons to it. I
Absolutely.
think with no restrictions on it and stuff, a lot of people, because you've seen a lot of, I'll get notifications on my ESPN, blank and blank suing and blank and blank for NIL
Absolutely.
restrictions. Just stuff in that
just
nature.
crazy,
So
yeah.
I think there does need to be more restrictions on it, but at
Absolutely.
the end of the day, the football players, like we were talking about earlier, it's a full-time job.
It is.
I know I have a lot of friends in the NFL, and then I've seen interviews where they say, like, NFL is much easier than college as
For
far
sure.
as the load you put on your body.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I know just being college, putting that load on your body, then having to go to school and then do schoolwork, you live in two separate, not really separate, but two lives at the same time. So I think NIL is a big thing. It gives a lot of hope to a lot of players who, and a lot of players on football, I know other sports too have them, but a lot of football players come from broken homes, come from
Absolutely.
bad backgrounds, come from
Trying to change their life around.
So just
trying
having
to
NIL,
provide.
it helps them be able to provide. I know a lot of players, even myself. I send money to my daughter sometimes to help her out and everything. I know a lot of
Absolutely.
parents, a lot of people talk about how they send money back home to help their parents out,
For sure.
help their families out. You see people with cars, you just see a lot of people doing stuff they
Lots
never
of
thought
impact.
they would do.
Lots
so a
of
lot of impact with the
It's
NIL.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's super awesome.
It can be a positive thing or a negative thing, but
Absolutely.
I've seen
The
a lot
way
of
you use
positive
it.
stuff
Well,
from it.
I'd
For
say
sure.
I'd seen so many positives from it. Obviously, there's always going to be a negative in something, and
but-
so I see a lot of positives in it. Okay, last question. NFL team, like not your dream NFL team, but
Right.
just you're growing up. Who were you a fan? Who was your team you're a fan of?
Growing up, I was a big Texans fan.
Texans fan,
Big
okay.
Texans fan. My family, they were always like, I was always trying to be opposite and different.
Were they
from them.
Cowboys
So they
fans?
were Cowboys, and I would go Texans fan. Or growing up, they were UT fans.
Uh huh.
I'm gonna
Absolutely.
be a Tech
I'm
fan.
gonna be a Tech
fans.
fan.
I was
Be
just always-
different.
I was always different, but yeah.
I love that. I love that. Cowboys fan? Nah.
No, I'm still a
Texans
Texans fan.
fan?
I think I kind of fell off the Texans. You probably don't know much about it, but when they traded DeAndre Hopkins, they got rid of J.J. Watt. They got rid of all their best players that I grew up
fave
watching.
players,
so I was like,
yeah.
so it put a little grudge on me. But these past 2 years,
absolutely.
them getting, especially when they got Jalen Petrie.
Yeah,
just 'cause I played with him.
that is really cool
Yeah,
to
I
be
think
able.
when he went there, that's
yeah.
really when my heart went back to the Texans. Like, okay, I'm a big time
All
Texans
right,
fan.
big
And
time
now they're
Texans
doing good.
fans. And
so,
he's
yeah.
been, he has been
balling.
rocking
He's
out
balling.
over
That
there.
dude
It's
is
so
balling.
amazing.
Him and Terrell. I looked up to
you
them,
love,
and they're both
yeah,
balling.
absolutely. You love to see that, but you love your college people go off and do very
Love
well.
seeing it, love
So
seeing it.
that's so awesome. Okay, well that's
Yeah,
it for
thanks
today.
for having
So
me.
thank you so much for coming
Loved it.
on. It's gonna be awesome.
Heck yeah.
I'm super excited for this season,
Can't
and
wait.
good luck Saturday.
Thank you,
Good
thank
luck.
you, thank you.
Absolutely.
We are Rogue Media Sports.